Hey guys, let's talk about Linea and MetaMask's mascot, their culture coin, the meme coin, Foxy. So in this video, I want to address what a lot of you guys have been asking me about with, do I still own Foxy? Yes, I do. It's one of my smaller bags, but I do still own, haven't sold anything. Don't plan to until February or when it hits my price targets, as I discussed a couple of times in videos. And I will go over the price targets in this video. We'll pull up the charts. We'll look to see how things have been going. Spoiler alert, not great. But I want to address a couple of direct questions I've had about it, a little bit of my thoughts, and a little bit of roadmaps and rumors that Linea specifically has had about it. Like they're trying to really push the narrative that Foxy is the #1 meme coin on Linea, which is awesome. It just doesn't really mean much right now because Linea is really small. But there's a couple of things like that I want to address. So if you're in Foxy and there's any questions you have, any comments you want to add to it, you want me to reiterate anything from the past, put down the comments down below. And if you have found your way to my channel a couple of times, please do press the like and subscribe button. It helps me out being a smaller channel. But regardless, let's move forward. Let's talk about Foxy. So microcaps, memes, really bad for meme microcaps. Like everything else has kind of gone down in the shitter, right? Again, we'll pull up the charts. We'll talk about a little bit about what I see and think shortly. Congrats for still being in the market because a lot of people got feared out. And when I look at a meme coin, which if you guys have been here, I'm not really big into memes because there's not much I can really hold on to with conviction when it goes down. But the reason why I chose Foxy is because of the backing that it has. You know, it is supported and it's the mascot for Consensus, which is the parent company of MetaMask and Linea, which is started by Joe Lubin, who is a co-founder of Ethereum. So like Foxy isn't going to go to zero. It can always go lower than it is now, but it's in my mind one of the safest memes that's got a high reward potential because of it's tiny ass microcap. We'll check in a little bit, but I think it's around the $5 million mark, maybe less at this point. Though I do fully plan on selling this one by February, as discussed in a few other videos. We'll call it my contingency plan. Foxy's a safer one, in my opinion, to hold on to because I do think it's still going to be around in years from now. That being said, do what you want with that information. So there was a couple questions I was asked, and I want to hit these right on now. Everyone who asked me questions, thank you. I do appreciate it. It gives me some fun things to talk about. But I was asked, or more so statement than question of, I wish Linea would burn their Foxy tokens. Do you know if they will? What is your price target for Foxy? All right. Okay, you got a couple questions in there. I'll hit all those here, or at least in the video. So there is the tech is set up to be able to do a burn mechanism. There is only rumors about it, but there has not been any official talk that I've heard or seen with any real substantiation behind it that there's going to be a burning of Foxy. But it's definitely possible down the road. So I'm not putting any weight into it. I'm not going to try to blow smoke up your ass like, yes, because no, it doesn't appear to be right now. There's a strong chance of a burn or a buyback mechanism down the road. And I think there's a better chance of a buyback mechanism. And here's all speculation, just my thoughts and theories, nothing that has been supported unless stated otherwise by any of the powers that be in Foxy. But Foxy's used a lot as a reward token right now. There is talk about it being used eventually for gas fees on the Linea system. And gas fee tokens, if they go that route, which would be awesome if they do, they're much more likely to have burn mechanisms or buybacks. And I've been seeing, granted, maybe this is just in the crypto I've seen. I've got no statistics to support this, just my observations, just to be clear. But I see a lot of reward tokens are more likely to have buyback systems. Because if they keep giving and airdropping it, they'll buy it back to be able to re-airdrop it again, typically when the prices go down, so they can use it as advertising. So if you have like the MetaMask credit card, or you farm a bunch of airdrops and you get Foxy, people will, it'll go up in price, at least eventually over time. People will sell it. It goes down. The company will rebuy their Foxy tokens now at a lower rate, and they can use that for cheap advertising and put them back out, either just to sell on the market to us wonderful retail folks, or to drop back into airdrops. And it was already cheaply bought. It's just a cheap flywheel effect. I could see a future when they do a burner buyback system, but there's nothing that I saw that says they're going to do it right now. Foxy does have a decently strong community, though it does appear to be dropping. But every time Linea gets some good news, Foxy goes up a little bit. So I've said this before, and I'm going to reiterate this, that if you're in Foxy, it is a meme. It might get utility, but they're going to talk about it a lot more from Linea. So I would follow Linea a little bit more closely, because what's good for Linea is going to be good for Foxy, especially if they keep putting it up on the pedestal of saying the best meme on Linea is Foxy. If you haven't, so I recommend just keeping an eye on what Linea is doing, because they're the ones that are going to create a use case for it. Yes, MetaMask has a mask coin coming out. We're waiting for more information about that. And that very likely could be tied in, at least in some sort of very easy and double profitable partnership if they go that route. So just a couple of things to keep an eye on while you're doing your own research, because I know everyone is doing their own research, right? And keeping up to date on everything. That's where I would keep an eye on. Let's quickly go over price points, and then we'll go ahead and look at the charts. So price points for me is, I guess first, my prediction. I'm holding on to what I said in the past, and it's only going to make it seem more ridiculous because of where we are right now. We'll pull up the exact numbers, but if we have a true alt season, or at least a big meme narrative, I could see Foxy getting up to that 8 to 12 cent marker. Are we going to have a huge meme pump? Again, we're going to find out. We'll wait and see. When it comes to price points or sell targets for me, I am never the one chasing those 10x, 25x, 50x. I've gotten them, but I've always sold some first. I will always sell some of a crypto at a 3x or a 5x at minimum, just to start taking some of the profits back and de-risking, right? Always. And I haven't sold any Foxy yet. So my first sell limit is 3x from my average buy, which I did DCA a little bit into it, but I'm not going to DCA anymore. I'm good. I might farm some more airdrops, which is a great way of bringing down your average, because it's should be, we can classify that as free crypto. But for transparency's sakes, my average right now is 0.0044. And when you look at the chart, I think we're at 0.0007 or so. So my average about 0004. And so my first sell limit right now is set to about 1.3 cents. And at that point, that's a 3x of my average. I'm going to sell a third of it, at least, maybe a little bit more, but at least a third of it. That's my initial investment. So now everything that's left, if I hit that limit, is free money, house money, however you want to call it. I'm protected. I can't lose on Foxy at that point. And then I've got another limit set at 5x, which puts me at 2.2 cents. Same concept. I'll sell at least a third of it at that point, have a small bag left, and just see how far it goes. And from there, I will have other price markers if we hit there, and seeing where do I think it could realistically go, or maybe just sell all of it there. That I haven't confirmed yet. I have to see how the market sentiment is, what else I've bought and sold at that time, etc., what makes sense to me. But those are my next two sell limits. So to reiterate, 1.3 cents and 2.2 cents based off of 3x my average buy and 5x my average buy. Let's check out charts. Okay, guys, here's the 3-month chart. And it looks kind of like shit, right? I mean, nothing to hide about it. We've got a very big downward trend. We can expand the month soon. We get a few little spikes, but we got a very downward motion. Like there's, even we just come by here, we can go a lot further up, but it's not looking splendid when you drop here. Right here was the 1010 crash. and we're bottlenecking pretty low pretty quick. And yeah, we're at 0.3072. Um, it's slowing down, but I can't tell you that there's nothing great I can see here. I can pull a little bit of TA bullshit out and say, oh, this is good because of here. But no, what we just need is a catalyst, whether it's general market catalyst or something big with Foxy, Linear, or MetaMask. Here are just some of the lines I had on the chart from previous, and I just haven't got rid of them because they still hold valid. Let's zoom in a little bit on this one first, and then we can zoom out. So now we're looking at a 2-week period, and we get a lot of little buys and sells, but obviously all the big candles are red. The big thing I want to zoom in here to see is we're actually improving slightly. Here's a little bit of hopium. I'm not going to overemphasize this. It's not great if we're looking at short-term relief, but we are now at least starting to crawl over at times the EMAs. That's these little lines here, the 20-day, 50-day, and 200-day EMAs, exponential moving averages, and essentially you always want to be ahead of them, right? When things are looking good, our numbers are always ahead of these lines. And clearly they haven't been very well for a while. We are starting to get ahead of them, which kind of just tells me that it's not the momentum is picking up, it's that stabilizing. And you can see that really well right through here. So if I've got any good news for that is I think we're hitting a local bottom, and it looks like it hit here. We came back up and we're retesting a local bottom in the last week. So that's really the best honest optimism I can give you guys in the short term is it looks like we've been slowing down because we're now hitting around the EMAs. And if you want any other little extra hopium, which is based on a little bit of truth here, is that this market cap is effing tiny. It does not take much to make it move. It doesn't say anywhere here, I think. But looking at my phone right now, and it says the market cap on coinmarketcap.com is 4.22 million. That is tiny as F. So the good news is that when it moves in any real direction, specifically up, it should move quickly. We just need a catalyst. So I just quickly zoom back to the 1-year chart. And back here we have during the Trump pump, back at the end of 24. And we hit my first limits. It actually looks like, okay, nope. So we hit the where I'm going to have my first sell limit set. And we're looking to get back around that 2-cent marker if we have another full market pump or a strong linear pump or a strong meme pump. Seeing the 1 to 1.5 cents, I think, is incredibly realistic. Again, we need to have the market turn. So I'm not going to sit here and just tell you, look, this is going to happen. No, I'm giving it myself until February. And in that case, if it hasn't happened, I will let you guys know. I'm trying to be straight with you guys. I got to protect my own financial stuff, make sure I hit my goals in the generalized timeframes I want, and I will de-risk this into other stuff. But I'm going to hold on to until then because that's my plan. And there's not a strong enough reason for me to diverge from it right now. So there you guys go. There's my thoughts on Foxy. I'm still holding on to it. I'm not planning on DCAing into it right now. There's just other coins that are at a lower risk and higher conviction I want to get into. But I'm going to keep this until either it's time for me to fully de-risk and give up on the idea of an alt season for at least the micro caps for now, or we hit the prices. So let me know what your thoughts are. If you have any other questions, if you have a strategy that you've been doing that you want to just get my thoughts on, opinions for whatever reason, put it down below. And regardless, as long as you guys, I'll see you guys again. I'll be here. Peace.